Hey, this is Craig from Everyday Makers. The other day, the boy came home from out shopping with his friends, and he came home with a BB gun. So we have to do something about that. So today we're going to build him a target. Okay, so today we're going to build a target. This is actually a really simple project. It takes almost nothing to build. You got to go to the store, but it doesn't take long. I've got, you can barely even see it here, about a 6 foot length of 1/4 inch steel rod. Just a steel bar. It's nothing, not threaded rod, just rod. And I've got a 6-inch by 18-inch sheet of 22 gauge steel. This is very flexible. It's about, I would say, the same heaviness as a handsaw blade. So it's just got some good wobble to it, good sounds. But the deal with this is you don't want to go too heavy because you want a good amount of movement and you want that good ping when the BB's hit it. So you kind of got to find that happy medium. I don't suggest using aluminum, A, because aluminum gets dented a whole lot easier, so it's going to look worse and worse over time pretty quickly. B, aluminum doesn't quite get the same sound. It's got more of a clack when something hits it. It's just not quite the same fun ping as this would. And also this is generally a few bucks cheaper than the aluminum version of the said item. So I would go with the steel. It's a little bit more of a pain to cut, but really not much more of a pain to cut. Okay, let's start a project. The majority of the actual work that we're going to be doing on this is with this piece of steel. What we're going to want to do, take a piece of steel, take just circular items from around. Like I have this thing of aluminum peel and seal masking. It's just about a perfect circle on here. What I'm trying to get is good circles that make the use of this without eating up the entire thing. So you can kind of see how that makes a form. So all we're going to do, put that on there and draw around it. And this will be used as our stencil, basically, just to make some circles. They don't have to be perfect. This isn't competition grade anything, just make a circle. So use my snazzy Artline marker, which these are still working wonderful, by the way. Make a circle around it. But you want to go a little bit further than just that circle. You also want to make yourself a little tab. I think you can get a good shot of that. Tab, basically, just kind of, you want to give yourself, it almost looks like a Christmas bulb kind of thing, or maybe a light bulb, depending on how you want to draw it. The tab is essentially what you're going to cut out along with this. You're going to cut that, and then you'll bend that over the round bar, and that gives it a hinge. So all we're doing is basically just making hanging little discs. Pretty easy. So I'm going to make a couple of these. I'm going to cut them out. Okay. So my drawings look a little funky here because I decided to redo my tabs to be just a little bit longer. Got kind of the most out of my can. Gives the most ability to hang in one spot. At the least amount of friction. Should work out pretty well. But it's somewhat of a trial and error. If they're too long, remake it. If they're not, do what you can. So essentially, okay, now I'm going to cut these out. Here's the part you got to be a little bit careful. I'm breaking out gloves. I almost never wear the proper PPE for stuff, and that's 100% my fault, and I totally take responsibility for that. But in this particular case, sharp sheet metal sucks. It's just not fun. I can't tell you how many times I've cut myself real not good on sheet metal. So I'm going to clear up my space here, which also the other things that I found to use as stencils were a paint can, a spray paint can, and a roll of MIG welder wire spool. So gave me 3 different sizes. Now we're going to take snips, 10 snips. You can also use grinder, cutting wheel on a grinder, works perfect too. Also a jigsaw with a metal cutting blade would also get the job done. This I think is going to be the most common thing people may or may not have, so this is what I'm going to go with today, just to kind of show you anybody can do it. So we're just going to take it and snip and just work around. Doesn't take long. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this because there's really no point in watching me do this. Okay, as a result of just a few minutes worth of work, I have these guys, little 3 different sizes of targets. Bam. Okay, so these have reasonably jagged edges that I'd rather my child doesn't lose a finger to. So what I'm going to do right now is you can take a file the edges down. That really doesn't take too long to do, but I got a bench grinder, so I'm going to go ahead and knock it out there real quick. I'm going to file down all the edges so they're a little bit better, a little less jagged and rough. Then I'm going to run through the wire brush. Wire brush will help roll over the edge a little bit, make it a little bit less of a knife blade. Just kind of clean them up a little bit. Give me just a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Got my pieces. Got the edges not quite so knifey sharpy. So now what I'm going to do is basically flatten out the little bits I've got here. They've got just kind of little, you can kind of see the reflections in a little bit, that kind of a little bit wavy lines around the outside from using the tin snips. So I'm just going to take a board and a hammer and just kind of work around them a little bit. Just very, very, very primitive metalworking, nothing super special. Metal tends to work pretty nicely when you just give it a little light tap and just kind of work your way around. You don't have to just beat the crap out of it in one shot. Just keep working along. It'll come through. Okay. That one's considerably flatter than it was previously. I'll take it. Now I'm going to knock out the other 2. The deafeningly loud sound that I just got while beating on these things gives me real high hopes it'll have a good ping when it hits it. Close enough. Okay, the plan from here on out, we're going to bend these. Yeah, I know we just got them straight. We'll deal with it. Okay, so here's the deal. I just happen to have a dowel. You can use a dowel like this. You can use a marker. You can use a big bolt, just something bigger than the 1/4 inch. You want it to be larger diameter than the 1/4 inch post we're going to put it on. Okay, so we're going to take this, kind of see here. We're just going to bend it around. It's a relatively simple process. That's it. That's pretty much it. Okay. So now from here, we're going to take the hammer and beat this into a little bit flatter so we can get this end here flat against here, because we're going to be riveting these together. But we're going to use this basically as a mold to work around. So we're going to take our hammer, something to that effect. You're looking basically, get a little bit better view. Basically, we're going to make this into something that we can now drill a hole through and then put a rivet through that to hold it in place. So, drill ready. I think I need a new bit. Okay. Got a hole drilled in there. Now we're going to rivet it. Riveting, huh? Sorry, you can't not have a rivet joke when you've got a rivet gun. It's just kind of a thing. I think it's the law in 48 states. I don't know. Okay, let me get my rivet gun adjusted here for the right size. Rivet guns generally have different tips to get the right one, so you get the most tension on the right items here, and they're a thing. Okay, we're ready to go. If anybody asks, no, I did not edit out the part where I had the wrong size insert in the rivet gun. Definitely did not happen. Okay, so we're going to put this through our hole we just drilled. Ideally, this should be a relatively tight fit, so it's a little shoving and wiggling and finagling to get her through. Okay, once that's through, might even adjust that just a little bit here real quick. Hold one moment. Okay, once that's through, just give the old rivet gun a couple squeezes. It'll help pull it together. Once you hear that pop, it's done. Connected. Good to go. So what I'm going to do now is take this, I'm going to flatten out this rivet just a little bit, hit it with a hammer a couple more times from both sides, get a little bit more flared out, and just take up any excess. Okay, so now this is still pretty much the size of this, which is good because we want it to be nice and loose. You can kind of see where we're going here with this. Okay, I'm going to do this 2 more. I'll be back with you in a sec. A couple minutes later, got these drilled out, riveted, bent. So I have 3 different sizes, all like this. So these are different size targets. So from here, I am not having good luck today. From here, we're going to take our 1/4 inch rod. We're going to bend it. I'm going to attempt to measure it out and bend it over, and we'll get these things together. The one thing I can tell you is when you're bending, do not forget to put these on first, because you won't get them off once it's bent. Ain't going to happen. So we're going to mark this out real quick, hit a tape measure. I'm going to give myself 16, 18 inches, about 1.5 feet, give or take in the middle. It'll stay unbent, so about yay much it'll stay unbent. Then bend down, bend down. Simple process, it'll just take me a minute. I'm going to use my vise for this actually. It'll probably be way, way, way easier on me. So I'm going to go over to the vise, get this bent over. I'll be right back. The other thing is part of getting these to stay where you want them, washers. These need to go 2 in between each of these. So target, washer, washer, target. So 2 in between, and then on the very outsides also. So don't forget to add those in. So it's going to go, I'll just go ahead and start. I'll show you the process. Okay, first bend made. So I'm going to do washer, the target, then a washer, and another washer, and another target, washer, washer, remaining target, and another washer. So for 3 targets, we got a grand total of 6 washers. Now I'm going to go bend my other 90-degree bend, which is right here. Okay, now our targets are officially trapped. The end washers will come off. Targets will not. They're where they're going to be. So I'm going to take this, and here's where these washers come in handy. These washers we're going to glue. And these are basically used just to keep the targets kind of in a good spot. So we're going to find out kind of where we want the target to be able to move. You don't want them ideally touching the targets. You want them a little bit away from the target just to make sure they're not blocking anything. And we'll find kind of a happy spot where all the targets look like they're supposed to go. Something like that, give or take. And now I'm just going to add some super glue. I thought about welding these, just to pop them in place, a little tack weld. But realistically, not everybody has a welder. Everybody has super glue. So that'll solve that problem. I'm going to put some super glue on this. This is just a bumper, basically. They're not holding any weight or anything like that. So a little bit of super glue, we're golden. So I'm going to go and put that on real quick. Just like that. 1 minute. After a quick coat of spray paint, we got some targets. And let these bad boys dry. Let the boy give it a shot. Okay, seems like you liked it, so we'll call it a success. Pretty easy project to build. I've got filming always takes so much longer because you got to reset up, move stuff, reset up, blah blah blah. I bet you could comfortably have this done in a half hour, and that's taking your time doing it. Easy project. I got about $20 total worth of metal in it, so not an expensive project. Easy project anybody can do. I recommend it. Give it a shot. Thanks again for joining us. We really, really, really appreciate you watching our videos. Don't forget, like, subscribe. We appreciate you watching them. If you could share them, that'd be even better. Got a friend that's a fan of a BB gun or something like that, feel free to send it his way. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.